So now let's talk about some of the other graphs that we need to talk about. Hopefully this section won't be too hard. Hopefully these will be relatively easy. So a pie chart is a circle divided into sectors. So most of us probably know what a pie chart is, right? Each sector represents a category of data, and the area of each sector is proportional to the frequency of each category. That's a lot of words for something you probably already know just if you looked at it. So let's look at it. So problem 6. Here we got a pie chart. So according to this pie chart, so it says favorite type of music, there's comedy, action, romance, drama, sci-fi. So according to this pie chart, what is the least popular movie? So we can see the least popular type of movie would be the drama, right? Pretty easy, hopefully. Part B, what is the most popular movie? So we can look in the biggest section. That would be romance, according to this, right? All right, part C. What percentage of people chose comedy as their favorite movie? So we can see here's comedy. What percentage? Just 20%. And then what percentage of people chose romance or sci-fi as their favorite movie? So it's what percentage, so it's a single number. So they either chose romance or sci-fi. So romance is 30%, sci-fi is 20%. So all we gotta do is add them together. 20% plus 30% is 50%. So 50% of the people either liked romance or sci-fi as their favorite movie. All right, let's move on to dot plots. So we draw a dot plot by placing each observation horizontally in increasing order and placing a dot above the observation each time it is observed. So this one's another easy one. Once you start to see how to do it, should be okay. So problem number 7, create a dot plot with the following data. So we need that horizontal line. So we just need to list all the numbers. So we can see 1, and it goes all the way up to 11, I believe. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. All right. And so for a dot plot, what you want to do is every time you see a number, you want to put a dot above it. So 7, we just put a dot. 6, we put a dot. Another 6. So if you have another dot, you just put it above that one. And hopefully you can see how this is going. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. You finish it off too. See if we get the same look to it. Oh. All right, so another 6. 2, 1, 2, 3. All right. So hopefully you got something that looked a little bit like this. And if you're still working, just pause the video until you're done. Make sure to confirm. So looking at this, hopefully this was pretty simple. What kind of distribution would we say this is? So would this be a normal distribution? Would it be a uniform distribution? A right skewed, a left skewed? Well, if the 2 wasn't here, it would be pretty normal, right? It looks pretty much like a bell shape, but because of that 2, that kind of ruins it a little bit. So in actuality, right, if we had to give it one of the 4, well, it looks like all the data is going to be over here, and it's getting pulled in this direction, maybe. So that would be called right skewed. Remember, it's where it's getting pulled. The tail, all the extra data is getting to the right, so this would be right skewed, potentially. Cool, cool. All right, stem and leaf plots. So we're going to write this down. It's going to be a lot of words for something that is a lot simpler than this. All right, so in the stem and leaf plot, or stem plot, some people call it, use the digits to the left of the foremost digit to form the stem. Each of the digits forms the leaf. So let's say that we have numbers, we'll have 11, 12, 18, 23, and 37. Okay, so all the numbers to the rightmost digit, so everything to the right, these are going to be the stems. So 1, 1, 2, and 3. And the leaves are going to be that rightmost digit, the ones place. So the stem of the data will consist of digits to the left of the rightmost digit, and the leaf itself is that rightmost digit, so what we just said. So step 2, write the steps in the vertical column in ascending order. So this is super important. If you want to put a star, underline, you need to make sure that they are always in ascending order. They have to go in increasing order from the stem. So draw a vertical line to the right of the stem, or left of the stem if it's a double stem plot. We'll see that in a second, but don't worry about that. All right, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be drawing a vertical line and we need to make sure to write all of the stems. So right now we have a 1, a 1, a 1, a 2, and a 3. So we don't need to do any repeats, so we just write 1, 2, and 3. So stems are in ascending order. Oh, sorry, that wasn't the ascending I meant. That was very important, though it is very important. There's another thing that's more important. All right, now write each leaf corresponding to the stem to the right of the vertical line, or to the left. Now here, step 4, this is the important one. So within each stem, so we can write all of it. So 1, 8, 2, right? Because there's a 1 right there. There's an 8 with the 1. There's a 2 with the 1. Then a 3 and a 7, right? All right, so number 4 is the one that's super important. Within each stem, rearrange the leaves in ascending order. So this is what's super important. All of the leaves have to be in ascending order from the vertical line. The second super important thing is do not use commas. So obviously this is a 1, 8, 2, so we just need to switch these two numbers around, right? The 2 and the 8. So 1, 2, 8. Now, the reason why you don't need commas right here is because these numbers aren't together, right? This 1 represents the ones place of this one, right, with the 10. So this is 11. You can see here, right, this would be 23. So if I added another number there, what number did I just add to this list? Hopefully you can see that it would be 39, right? Yeah, so since these numbers have nothing to do with each other, we don't need commas. Let's do another one. What if I wrote this number? What number did I just include in the graph or in the list of numbers? So I added 25. 5, right? One more. What if I wrote this? Hopefully you see that would be 27, right? All right, hopefully we're a little familiar with this, or at least it's not super hard. All right, so problem 8. Let's create a stem and leaf plot. So we can see that in the tens place, we have a 1, we have a 2, we have a 4. So probably need to go up to 4. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we just need to start writing the numbers out, right? So I'm going to give a little bit of space because eventually we'll need to put them in ascending order. And if you want to just start with ascending order, that's fine too. But if you kind of want to organize them a little better, you can do that as well. I think that's typically what I do. So the 2s, we have a 7, and a 2, and a 9, a 3, 6, 4, 2, 0. Well, 0 is definitely going to be the first one, so that's easy. 7, 1, 9, 4, another 4. All right, for the 1s, all right, we got 13, so we got a 3, an 8, 8, 2 5s, 2 1s, a 2, 18, 3 17s, an 18, 13, 16, and 2 19s. So I'm just kind of jumping all over the place because apparently that's how my brain works, but you can do it a different way. Oh, we forgot a 2, so this is 23 when you make sure to include the 3. So right now, if you notice, I'm just separating them out, right? Putting all the teens together, all the 20s together, the 30s together, and the 40s together. So I'm just divvying them up in that way. Right, so the 30s. 6, 1. All right, so I think I've separated them all out. So from here, we just need to put them in order. So easy one first would be the 40s because there's only 2 numbers. So we put a 6 and an 8. Remember, no commas. We don't need any commas. And the 30s, so 1 would come first, and then the 2 2s, and then the 6, 7, 8. So now it's in order. All right, for the 20s, so we have a 21, we have 2 22s, 23, so I'm going to move this 7 just over here, so that way we don't mess it up. Another 3. We'll move the 9 over here as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4s. And then a 6. And then 2 7s, 2 9s. All right. Last up is the teens. So 2 1s. We got another 2. 2 3s. 2 5s. We can move the 8s over. We have a 6. 3 7s, and then the rest is in order. If you want to push it down a little bit to make it look prettier, that's fine, but we don't necessarily need to. All right, and there we go. So based off of this stem and leaf plot, what kind of distribution would this be? Based off of this stem and leaf plot, what kind of distribution would this be? Well, if you turn it sideways, right, if you think about it as this is the bottom and this is the top, right, turn it sideways, you'll notice that all the data is on the left side, and then it's slowly going down, right? So this would be a right skewed distribution, yet again. Cool, cool, cool. All right. I think this is the last problem for this section. Probably. All right, so create a double stem and leaf plot. So we don't typically talk about this, but the homework does, so I need to make sure to include it. So if you have 2 different stem and leaf plots, right? So here's the first one. I wonder if I can just kind of move this over. Let's see. So we're just going to move this over. So that's going to be the right side of the plot. Then we're going to have another line. And we're going to write all of these numbers on the other side. All right. So for the 4s, we have 6, 1, and 9. For the 3s, we have 7, 8, and 2 9s. For the 20s, we have 0, 2 3s, and a 7. And then for the 1s, we have 1, 2 9s, and an 8. All right, so if you remember, the way that it's in ascending order, it's from the vertical line. So from the vertical line, we need to go in increasing order. So the first one closest to this, so if we start with the 1s, right? The smallest number is 1, so that needs to be the first one closest to that vertical line. And then we have an 8 and 2 9s. All right, hopefully this is making sense. With the 2s, right, 0 is going to be the first number, 2 3s, and then the 7. With the 3, we have 7, 8, and then 2 9s. And then with the 4, it's 1, 6, and 9. All right, so this is what a double stem leaf plot would look like. Like I said, we're not going to use this too often. We'd probably just do a regular stem plot, but the homework may talk about this, so I did want to make sure we at least knew what was going on. All right, well, that's it for this section. Hope you have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions.